I'm making this video because that's not why I'm making this video. I chopped my hair. It's not done yet. I got it the basic shape I'm on it, and now I have to go in and fix it so it doesn't look like So Friends. But it usually takes me like a week or so to get my hair to the right place. So yeah, it looks packed. I realize that. I'm making this video not for either of those reasons. I'm making it because of a conversation I was having with an INTP on my last video. So, Christian, I hope you're okay with me talking about what you said. You posted it on YouTube, so I'm guessing that means that you're okay with it because I thought it was really interesting, and I think it's probably really relatable what you said. And I also found it sad, and I wanted to talk about it because I feel like I understand, not precisely because I'm an ENTP, not an INTP, but I do feel like I understand, and I've just wanted to read a little bit of our conversation because I don't want you INTPs to be stuck in the tower. And Christian said to my last video where I was talking about, am I too strange to love? Or too strange for love. Maybe not to love, but too strange for love. Christian said, I find the majority of humanity are the strange and weird ones, and people like you as normal, which I thought was so sweet. I was like, oh, I told him it gave me warm fuzzies. Lack of understanding empathy makes someone strange and weird. A lot of people are very inconsiderate, and sometimes I don't understand why they say that way when they have gone through the experience of someone not being considerate to them or are struggling in life. That's what I find strange and weird. Decent point. I've never met someone I can actually genuinely relate to. There's always something that really bothers me in someone or something about me that would bother them. I mostly test as INTP, but sometimes I test ISTP, so maybe I'm a mix of both. I like being alone, but for some reason I long to at least meet someone I can really relate to. Never had any genuine friends, and to an INTP, we don't want to waste our time with pointless interactions. For me, there is a major difference between a friend, and a genuine friend. So first I want to point out something from what you said, Christian. There's always something that really bothers me in someone or something about me that would bother them. That's what we call in cognitive behavioral therapy a negative self-talk tape. That last part of what you said, possibly both of it, because first of all, you're using always never statements. Always something that bothers me or something about me that would bother them. So you can see the supposition there where the INTP is using their logic based on maybe a past interaction because we NTs are great with logic and we're great with, especially ENTP and INTP, we're great at using our extroverted intuition to skip over leaps of logic to like make a big picture, a general statement about something that is true. And where ENTJ and INTJ, they use NI, introverted intuition, so it's a different kind of intuition. We NTPs, our intuition is all directed out at the outside world. So it's going to be, in this case, about other people. And I have said before, INTP and ENTP can both fall flat on their face when they make these giant leaps of logic using their intuition, because it's not always right. And that's the biggest way that we do F up. Well, INTP will F up because they generalize too quickly. ENTP will F up because they just like believe something will work, mostly. Even if there's not enough logic to back it up. So, I said back, the first part of your comment gave me warm fuzzies. To the second part, you definitely sound like an INTP. And to that, I would say, you really need an ENTP in your life. INTP can kind of barricade themselves into their comfort zone and not take risks as y'all would see them, which can be a danger to your happiness because whatever you've already decided becomes self-fulfilling. A lot like the INTP black hole video I made, just without the social justice warrior self-righteousness, but with almost a fear of the unknown. ENTP will just handcuff you to them and force you to leave your tower, and usually you end up enjoying yourself quite a lot. I think INTPs can go into an NE deprivation and not realize it. But y'all need the outside world and the endless possibilities it brings as much as we do. Your TI drawbridge just stays up too long and starts to rust in place. Oil can, says the Tin Man. Had to do the voice. So I guess that means you need a Dorothy. Ha! I swear this makes sense. And Christian said back, it makes perfect sense. I just hope I don't stay in the state any longer and can bring myself to take the risks necessary. And then I said, you can do it. Sometimes all it takes is a trip to somewhere you wouldn't usually go, even if just to people watch. And I could have said tons more things about that. I'm sure he could probably have as well. But I wanted to draw attention to this because I know INTPs can get into that place and it bums me out. And it's not quite the black hole, but it's almost like a stepping stone to the black hole. If the drawbridge just stays up, and it's almost like the INTP maybe at first is like walking up and down in the whole tower and interacting with everyone in the castle, but if the drawbridge stays up for too long, then the INTP goes up a floor. And maybe there's other people still interacting in the castle, but the INTP is only going to interact with the people on the second floor now and above. And if the drawbridge stays up even longer, after a while, INTP is going to go up to the third floor. And now INTP doesn't want to hang out with the people on the second floor either. Now INTP only thinks like the third floor and the fourth floor are safe because the drawbridge is up and they're not interacting enough with the outside world. They're not interacting enough to test their theories, and they're maybe even growing suspicious of people on the third floor because they're not getting outside and they're not gathering more information, and maybe something has, I don't know. But even people that they have known on the second floor and the main floor for a long time, INTP might find something that they don't like about them or something like that. When INTP isn't exercising their NE enough, when they have NE deprivation, I think that their TI can go just into overload. I think TI can go into overload and there's not enough fodder for it. There's not enough fodder for it to balance itself, to check to make sure that TI is right in the first place. And I think it can also like hone in on things sometimes and really delve into them. But if there's an error there, wherever TI is going, if there's an error in logic and there's no NE coming in from the outside world to make sure it is correct, then if the INTP keeps going up in the tower and keeps thinking, honing in on that thing that is now a truth, their tower that they've built in their mind that they're also ascending into, that will lead to the black hole, right? Like when INTP finds themselves in like the Rapunzel tower all by themselves, mostly, that's usually the black hole by the time the INTP gets to the top of the tower, maybe, and won't let anybody in. Or very few people. But I think that INTP gets really miserable up there. INTP doesn't think so, maybe, because INTP maybe thinks that that's safe. Like they have their little safe zone in the very top of the tower, and they have Wi-Fi, and they have like maybe 10 computers, or one computer with a giant screen and like 80 billion tabs, but they think that's all they need because they think that's a substitute for the real world. And so, and from what they can see, they want nothing to do with it or whatever it is, but it is not the same INTPs. The real world, from like the tabs on your computer or books or however it is that because I know the INTPs, even if they're in their tower, they still need their NE to be like gathering information, but there's still no substitute. And if you're going to be viewing the world through the lens of the internet, the TV and the internet, it's going to be tainted. It is always going to be angled a certain way. And especially if you have like gone down the logic stairwell, the bad, like, you're like, you were walking around in the castle and you accidentally like went down the incorrect logic path instead of the real truth, or what would be the truth for you, then not only is the information that you are gathering via the media already slanted, it's always going to be slanted, what you are looking for will be confirmation bias. It will not only be self-fulfilling prophecy if you are telling yourself like, I don't have any real friends, or I haven't met anybody that I would consider a real friend. I know that most people are going to bother me, and most likely there's something about me that's going to bother. You're just going to keep finding things about yourself and about the world, about other people, that just keep on fulfilling what you've already decided. Like I said, this is a lot like the black hole, but it's like, Christian, you don't sound like you're in the black hole yet, but you do sound in danger of going there. So I think that it's really good that you're like, I think it's awesome that you made that comment, because I feel like this is salvageable. I feel like, and you even said, like, I want to get out before this gets rested in place, because I think the biggest problem for INTPs can be the self-awareness part of it. You know, to realize that they are taking in things through a filter. It's not them. Like, INTPs have to be experiencing something a lot of the time, because that's how any works. Any works by direct, like, by seeing things and experiencing things. And a lot of any gathering that we do, yeah, it is online, or it is by a book, or by reading things or whatever. But at the same time, INTP, there's nothing like going out into the world and letting your any roam in real time, you know. And then you, even just one little outing, and you'll have so much for like TI to like, and something unexpected happening or something like that can shift everything for an INTP. Because I know that even if an INTP is like really, really stuck in something, and maybe say they don't like somebody for really, 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 really long time, they met him once, and then for like 8 years, this has actually happened with my INTP. You do not like that guy. That's a friend of mine, and you do not like him. You do not like him. No, no, no. Anytime I talk about him, if he's going to be there, no, 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 no. One time, my INTP and her husband and me and my friend, I don't remember what we did, but we had so much fun. For 8 years, she was convinced she didn't like him because of one time that she met him way back when we were in freaking college and we were all idiots. She loved him. We never had to talk about it again. That she hated him, because after that one night hanging out, she was like, "Oh, I really like him." And I had been hearing it for years, how much she didn't like him. If I mentioned his name, it was like, you know, like, you know what I mean? There's nothing like direct experience for you, because you will be in danger of only like looking for, like, maybe say going to that friend's Facebook page and looking at, like, you know, I don't know, maybe he went to Cancun, you know, but maybe over here he also like worked with inner city children in this album, and he did all these other things that in his life, but maybe he had some one wild crazy trip to Cancun or something. INTP, if they've already made up their mind, they would only see the Cancun album and be like, yep. Like, if they're like stuck in that like place where they're not like getting enough experience, they're just like, yeah, confirmation bias. And INTPs don't think they can do that, because they think they are so logical and unbiased. But INTPs, you can. When you are stuck in the tower, you can, and when you are stuck in the black hole, there's no other way, practically. So I think I'll be done talking now, because I think that you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, I think the biggest hardest hurdle for INTPs, for you guys, is to realize you were in your tower in the first place, and to realize like you were slowly climbing up your tower. The black hole is really hard to get somebody to realize, and it takes a long time, and it takes, because, you know, we're still working on it over here. It takes, please don't go into the black hole. I do think there's a return from it, though. But I'm talking, yeah. All I'm saying is, try to catch yourself when you're in the tower. You know, any phase of the tower is better than like the black hole at the very top of the tower, where you're just like, like, you know, you're like letting down your hair so that you can get food and they can send it up. And that's it. That's all you want to do. And you've got your screens. So, yeah. But if you can get to the self-awareness part, I think that it's very rational to you all of a sudden, you INTPs, because even before my INTP went into the black hole, if I could point out something or show her in a way that all of a sudden she thought that was pretty reasonable, or if she, usually if she had to experience it for herself, like with my friend, that really wasn't so bad. All of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. It makes complete sense. And then there's no fight anymore about it. Like, they just have to see things in that different light, or in that different situation, or a different setting, you know. Like, you can't just all go based on that one time or that one experience, or if you had a bad interaction with somebody or a bad group of friends or something like that, you know, you're just going to set yourself up for always finding people that are going to bother you, or always seeing, Christian, things that bother you about people first before you look for anything else. And the negative self-talk comes in and just like, well, obviously you're going to be like this and they're not like that. And so this is going to bother them. And so why even try? Because INTPs, like, the hardest thing for you is to stick your toe in the water and to just go for it, which is why you need an ENTP, because ENTP is like, blah, they're just going to go for it. They will drag you right along with them after they finally figure out how to get you to play with them. But there's a lot of other types too that can be fun like that. It's not just ENTPs. I'm just speaking from experience because I know ENTPs will drag INTPs out and INTPs will have fun. I know that works. But I am positive that other types will do that for you as well. Maybe not another INTP though. Hey, in the comments, you guys should leave like other types that are like really good at like getting INTP out of the tower or their ferret hole or wherever it is that they're like they've barricaded themselves into their doomsday prepper like capsule. And Christian, I wasn't bringing this up to make you feel bad or anything like that. I was bringing it up because like my heart went out to you, and I really hope that you get your oil can and you and that drawbridge starts to creep down. There's baby steps. If you don't find an ENTP that will just like take you like and jump off a cliff with you, then it's baby steps. Just trying little new things. Because like the tiniest little interaction can change the way you see something that you weren't even expecting. So that's what I would recommend. Just try something new. Or try something you usually do, but do it in a different way. I've got way more recommendations if you want to know them. I mean, I'm sure I do. But I'll start listing activities and stuff like that so that it's just like, just go find an ENTP. All right. I think that's everything. Good night, everyone.